Let me tell you something very simple. Money doesn't start in your wallet, it starts in your mind. The way you think about money decides whether you'll always chase it or it will start chasing you. Most people want to be rich, but very few are willing to train their minds like a muscle. That's why so many people stay stuck where they are. Your brain is your most powerful business partner. If you feed it fear, it will build walls. If you feed it growth, it will build opportunities. The difference between the person who earns a few dollars and the one who builds an empire is not luck, it's mindset training. Every successful person I've met learned how to think differently long before they earned differently. The first step to training your brain for money is to stop blaming. Poor thinkers blame their job, the economy, or the government. Smart thinkers ask, what can I learn here? What can I create? The moment you take responsibility, your brain switches from survival mode to opportunity mode. You start seeing doors where others see dead ends. Second, learn to delay pleasure. Most people lose money not because they don't earn enough, but because they can't wait. They buy things to look rich instead of investing to become rich. Train your brain to say, not now, later. The money you save today becomes your power tomorrow. When your brain learns discipline, your wallet learns to grow. Third, focus on solving problems. The world pays for solutions, not complaints. Rich minds don't run from problems, they run toward them. Every big business started with one question: how can I make life easier for others? If you can make people's lives better, money will naturally flow to you. Fourth, learn every day. The poor mind says, I already know. The rich mind says, what else can I learn? Read, observe, listen, experiment. When your brain grows, your income follows. The most expensive mistake is thinking education ends after school. Real education begins when you decide to grow yourself. Fifth, control your emotions. Most people make emotional money decisions. Fear when the market falls, greed when it rises. A trained brain stays calm, thinks long-term, and doesn't react. Remember, emotional control is financial control. Lastly, build value before expecting value. Don't chase money, attract it by becoming more useful. Train your brain to ask, how can I give more? The more people you help, the more valuable you become, and value always brings income. You see, making money isn't just about working harder. It's about thinking sharper. You can lose a job, a business, even a market, but if your brain is trained to create, you'll rise again. So don't just dream of being rich, train for it. Train your brain every single day, reflect, practice discipline, solve problems, stay curious, and keep growing. Because when your mind becomes rich, your life will follow. Money is not about numbers first. It's about how you think. Your mind is the foundation of your success, and your thoughts are the tools that build your reality. When people say they want to make more money, they often look for shortcuts, new jobs, side hustles, lucky breaks. But the real change begins inside. A rich life starts with a rich mindset. If your thinking is small, your results will always stay small, no matter how hard you work. But when you expand your thinking, your possibilities expand too. The difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful one isn't talent, background, or luck. It's mindset. Some people see challenges and immediately say, I can't. Others say, how can I? That one question changes everything. The first group shuts down their brain, while the second one activates it. Your brain is like a muscle. It grows stronger when you push it with new ideas and uncomfortable challenges. If you only think within your limits, you'll always stay limited. But when you start believing that you can learn, adapt, and create value, your brain starts finding ways to do exactly that. A growth mindset is not about fake positivity. It's about seeing opportunities even in failure. When your plan doesn't work, an untrained mind says, I failed. A trained mind says, I learned. This one shift is what builds confidence and creativity. If you treat every mistake as a lesson, your brain stops fearing loss and starts seeking progress. That's when real growth happens. You begin to take smarter risks, make better decisions, and handle money with wisdom rather than emotion. Training your brain for wealth means programming it to focus on possibilities instead of problems. When most people see a challenge, they focus on what's wrong. But successful thinkers focus on what can be done. For example, if business is slow, they don't complain. They ask, what do customers need right now? This habit of problem solving turns the brain into a money magnet because value always follows creative thinking. Another part of a strong mindset is self-belief. If you don't believe you deserve wealth, you'll unconsciously push it away. Many people sabotage themselves because they think money is, for others, or too hard to get. The truth is, wealth doesn't belong to the smartest or luckiest. It belongs to those who believe they can grow enough to earn it. You become what you believe you can become. Lastly, remember that your brain responds to what you feed it. If you constantly talk about being broke, your brain starts to find proof of that. But if you fill your thoughts with ideas, goals, and learning, your brain starts creating solutions. Success isn't a one-time event. It's a habit built through daily thinking. Train your mind every day to see opportunities, believe in growth, and act with discipline. When your mindset becomes rich, money becomes a natural result, not a miracle. Taking responsibility is the turning point between staying stuck and moving forward. Most people blame something outside themselves when things go wrong, the economy, bad luck, their boss, or the government. But blaming gives away your power. The moment you start pointing fingers, you stop growing. Training your brain to make more money begins with one powerful decision to take full responsibility for your life. Everything changes when you realize that your choices, not your circumstances, shape your future. When you take responsibility, your mind shifts from being a victim to being a creator. Victims see life as something that happens to them. Creators see life as something that happens through them. This mental shift is the foundation of wealth building. You can't control everything, but you can control how you think, how you react, and what you do next. Successful people are not lucky, they're prepared. And preparation starts with owning every decision, every failure, and every result. Think about it. Every time you blame something or someone, your brain shuts down. It stops looking for solutions because it's convinced that the problem is out of your hands. But when you say, I'm responsible, your brain wakes up. It starts asking better questions. What can I learn from this? Or how can I fix it? And that's where creativity begins. Responsibility doesn't mean guilt or self-blame. It means power. It means you're in control of your direction. In business and life, the people who grow the fastest are those who own their mistakes. They don't hide them, they study them. They ask, why did this fail? What can I do better next time? This kind of thinking keeps your brain flexible, sharp, and focused on improvement. Blame closes your mind, responsibility opens it. When you take ownership, you stop wasting time complaining and start using that energy to create solutions. Taking responsibility also builds confidence. When you know that your results depend on your actions, you stop fearing the future. You understand that even if you fail, you can start again, stronger and smarter. This mindset creates resilience, the kind of strength that money alone can't buy. People who take responsibility never stay down for long. They learn, adapt, and move forward. And here's the truth: success doesn't come from perfect plans. It comes from people who are willing to take ownership and adjust along the way. When you train your brain to think this way, you'll start noticing opportunities that others overlook. You'll stop waiting for the right time or right help and start building your own path. Money rewards responsibility. Employers promote people who take ownership. Customers trust people who deliver results. Investors support people who are accountable. Taking responsibility isn't just a moral choice, it's a financial advantage. So, if you want to train your brain to make more money, start here. Own your thoughts, your actions, and your outcomes. The moment you stop blaming the world starts opening up to you. Delaying pleasure is one of the hardest but most powerful skills your brain can learn. Most people fail to grow financially because they chase short-term comfort instead of long-term freedom. They want quick results, instant satisfaction, and visible success. They spend money to feel good now instead of investing to live well later. Training your brain to delay pleasure means teaching it patience, discipline, and self-control, all of which are essential for building real wealth. Think about it. When you get paid, your brain feels rewarded. It wants to celebrate, spend, or show off. That's normal. But if you always give in to that impulse, your money never works for you. You work for it, spend it, and start over again. People who grow rich learn to flip this pattern. They let their money work for them by investing, saving, and building assets before spending on luxuries. It's not about being stingy, it's about being strategic. Every time you resist the urge to spend on something unnecessary, you're strengthening your brain. You're telling yourself, I control money. Money doesn't control me. That's a powerful mindset shift. The world constantly tries to sell you comfort and convenience. But if you keep giving in, you stay trapped in the cycle of paycheck to paycheck. When you delay pleasure, you build the habit of thinking long term. You stop living for the weekend and start living for your goals. Discipline with money isn't about saying no forever. It's about saying not yet. The problem with most people is that they want to look rich instead of being rich. They buy expensive clothes, the newest phone, or a fancy car before they built any real foundation. That kind of thinking comes from impatience. A trained mind understands that true success takes time. It knows that small sacrifices today bring big rewards tomorrow. Delaying pleasure also helps you think more clearly. When you're not constantly chasing the next thing to buy or the next moment of excitement, your brain has space to plan. You begin to ask smarter questions. What can I invest in? How can I make my money grow? What will bring value in 5 years, not 5 minutes? These are the thoughts that build wealth. Patience is the secret ingredient behind every great success story. Whether it's building a business, saving for a dream, or mastering a skill, progress always comes to those who wait wisely. It's not enough to work hard, you have to wait smart. Every time you delay an unnecessary purchase or reinvest your earnings, you're proving to yourself that you can think beyond the moment. In the end, wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how well you manage what you have. If you train your brain to delay pleasure, you build habits that protect your future. You stop reacting emotionally and start acting intentionally. Over time, those small moments of self-control turn into financial independence. The people who learn patience are the ones who eventually enjoy freedom because they waited when others wasted. Solving problems is the foundation of every successful life in business. The world doesn't pay for effort, it pays for solutions. If you want to make more money, train your brain to focus on fixing things instead of complaining about them. The bigger the problem you can solve, the bigger the value you create, and the more money naturally flows towards you. Every great company, invention, or opportunity began because someone looked at a problem and said, I can make this better. Most people avoid problems because they see them as stress or trouble. But successful thinkers see them as doors to growth. They understand that every obstacle hides a lesson or a business idea. When something frustrates you, slow service, confusing systems, poor communication, ask yourself, is there a way to improve this? That simple question can change your entire life. Problems are not roadblocks, they are opportunities in disguise. Training your brain to solve problems means changing how you see challenges. Instead of reacting emotionally, step back and analyze. Ask, what's really happening here? What's causing it? What's missing? This kind of thinking builds creativity and sharpens your logic. You stop wasting energy on frustration and start using it for innovation. Problem solvers are valuable because they make life easier for others, and that's exactly why they earn more. Look at any successful entrepreneur, leader, or professional. They all have one thing in common: they solve problems that others avoid. A doctor solves health problems. A teacher solves learning problems. A business owner solves customer problems. The more useful your solution, the more people will pay for it. So if you want your income to grow, don't ask, how can I make more money? Ask, whose problem can I solve today? Problem solving also requires curiosity and humility. You have to be willing to learn, listen, and experiment. Sometimes your first idea won't work, but that's part of the process. Every failed attempt teaches your brain something new. The people who eventually succeed are not the smartest. They're the ones who keep trying new solutions until something works. Failure doesn't mean the idea was wrong. It just means you've found a way that doesn't work yet. The more problems you solve, the more confidence you build. Your brain becomes trained to see opportunities instead of obstacles. When others panic, you stay calm. When others quit, you find a way through. This mindset separates achievers from dreamers. It's easy to complain when something is hard. It takes discipline to fix it. And that discipline turns into success over time. Remember, solving problems isn't only about business. It applies to every part of life. In relationships, in work, in personal growth, the ability to face issues and handle them wisely is what builds strength and trust. If you keep solving problems, you become someone people rely on, and reliability always leads to reward. So train your brain to look for problems, not to avoid them. The more you help, the more you grow. The more you solve, the more you earn. In the end, money doesn't chase those who complain, it chases those who create solutions. Learning every day is the fuel that keeps your brain alive, sharp, and ready to create opportunities. The moment you stop learning, your growth stops too. Many people think education ends when school ends, but real education starts when life begins. Every book you read, every mistake you analyze, every person you listen to adds something new to your understanding. If you want to train your brain to make more money, you must treat learning like oxygen, something you can't live without. The truth is the world is changing faster than ever. New technologies, new markets, new skills appear every year. What worked 5 years ago might not work today. If your knowledge stays the same, you fall behind. But if you make learning a habit, you'll always stay one step ahead. Successful people understand this. They never stop being students. They read, they observe, they ask questions, and they're never too proud to learn from anyone. A true learner can pick up lessons from success and failure, from books and people, from life itself. Learning doesn't always mean sitting with a book or attending a class. It means keeping your mind open. Every conversation can teach you something. Every challenge can make you smarter if you take the time to reflect on it. When you approach life with curiosity, your brain stays active and flexible. It becomes better at connecting ideas and spotting patterns, which is exactly what leads to innovation, and innovation creates wealth. Another key part of learning is unlearning. Sometimes the biggest barrier to growth isn't ignorance, it's holding on to old beliefs. Many people struggle financially because they were taught outdated ideas about money and success. Maybe they grew up hearing that money is evil or that playing safe is the only way to live. If you don't question those beliefs, they'll quietly control your life. A wise mind is willing to unlearn what no longer works and replace it with better knowledge. Consistent learning also builds confidence. When you know more, you make decisions faster and smarter. You stop guessing and start understanding. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's clarity, and clarity comes from preparation. The more you learn, the more prepared you are when opportunities appear. You won't hesitate because you'll know exactly what to do. But remember, learning without action is just information. Real learning happens when you apply what you know. If you read about business, start one. If you study investing, make your first small move. Experience turns knowledge into wisdom. The more you act, the more lessons you collect, and those lessons compound into expertise, the kind that brings long-term success. Make learning a part of your daily routine. Read a few pages. Watch something educational. Talk to people who know more than you. Reflect before you sleep on what the day taught you. Over time, these small habits transform how your brain thinks and how your life unfolds. The more your mind grows, the more doors open. When your knowledge multiplies, your money follows. Controlling your emotions and building value are two of the most important skills your brain must learn to create lasting wealth. Most people lose money not because they lack intelligence, but because they let emotions lead their decisions. Fear, greed, and impatience control how they spend, invest, and react. When the market drops, they panic. When it rises, they rush in blindly. But a trained brain stays calm. It doesn't chase trends or run from challenges. It observes, thinks, and acts with reason. Emotional control is the difference between temporary success and long-term stability. Money is emotional because it's connected to survival and self-worth. That's why many people take financial decisions personally instead of logically. They see loss as failure and success as validation. But when you understand that money is just a tool, a way to exchange value, you stop reacting emotionally. You start thinking strategically. You ask smarter questions. What's the real risk here? What's the long-term gain? What can I learn from this situation? This mindset protects your wealth and helps you grow it. The truth is, emotions aren't bad. They just need guidance. Fear protects you, but too much fear keeps you stuck. Confidence drives you, but too much confidence blinds you. A strong mind knows how to balance both. It takes time and awareness to train your emotions, but once you do, your decision-making becomes powerful. You no longer depend on motivation or luck. You rely on clarity and control. Alongside emotional control, building value is the next step. Many people chase money directly, but money is only a reflection of the value you bring to others. The world doesn't reward effort, it rewards usefulness. If you want to earn more, become more valuable, learn skills that solve problems, develop qualities that make people trust and respect you. Focus on how you can make others' lives better, faster, easier, or more meaningful. The more value you add, the more people will pay for your time, products, or ideas. Think of the most successful people in any field. They didn't start rich. They built something others needed. They developed expertise, created solutions, and helped others succeed. That's what value looks like. It's not about how much you can take, it's about how much you can give. When you focus on giving first, money naturally follows. Emotional control also helps you build value faster. When you're calm, you think clearly, work smarter, and communicate better. You don't burn bridges or make decisions out of frustration. You become someone people can rely on, and reliability is value. In business, in relationships, and in life, people trust those who stay stable under pressure. Training your brain to control emotions and focus on value turns you into a magnet for success. You stop reacting to every small loss or win and start building something that lasts. You begin to see money not as the goal, but as a result of your growth. The richer your character, mindset, and skill set become, the more naturally wealth flows your way. In the end, true success is not about chasing money. It's about becoming the kind of person money wants to follow.